Good day! In today's lesson, you will understand and appreciate more Renaissance poetry through learning different elements. So, to understand Renaissance poetry, I will discuss the definitions and example of each verse that you see on your screen. So, we have the sonnet, the Iambic Pentameter, the iamb, the quatrain, the rhyme scheme, the imagery, the meter, the form, rhythm, structure, tone, couplet, and the treatise. So the first one is sonnet. So last discussion, I already discussed that sonnet is a poem with 14 lines. Example of this sonnet is the Sonnet 18 written by William Shakespeare. Next, we have the iamb. So iamb is a fluid of poetry, consists of one unaccented syllable followed by one accented syllable, meaning those stressed syllables and unstressed syllables. So example, we have here accept. The syllable ac is the unaccented syllable and the syllable set is the stressed syllable. So in pronouncing that, you have to give more emphasis to stressed syllables. So you have to pronounce it louder compared to non-stressed syllables. So for example, accept. Next example, we have relax. Red is the unaccented syllable and lax is the accented syllable. So you have to pronounce louder the lax because it is the accented syllable. So you have to pronounce it like this. Relax. So next example we have receive. So as you can see, I have pronounced the accented syllable which is receive compared to unaccented syllable which is the re in receive. Next we have the iambic pentameter. So iambic pentameter consists of 5 iambic feet. So unaccented syllable is followed by an accented syllable. So since it consists of 5 iambic, it means that in one line we have 5 unaccented syllables and 5 accented syllables. So example, shall I compare you to a summer's day? So those blue words that you can see here, or the letters, are unaccented syllables. So if we count that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have 5 unaccented syllables followed by accented syllables. So those in color red, those are accented syllables. So how many are there? Let us count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we also have 5 accented syllables. So how are we going to read that? So take note that those accented syllables, we must pronounce that louder compared to non-accented syllables. So this is how to read it. Shall I compare you to a summer's day? Okay, so that's how to read that. And also you have to remember that in iambic pentameter, it has 10 syllables in each line. So let's try to count. Shall I compare you to a summer's day? So we have 10 syllables in iambic pentameter. So next we have the quatrain. So a quatrain is a 4-line unit of a poem. Meaning in a stanza there are 4 lines. So example, as you can see here, this poem has 4 lines. So if we are going to count the poem per line, so we have 4 lines. So this poem is an example of a quatrain. So another example of quatrain is this, another example. We have also 4 lines, so we consider this example as a quatrain. Next, we have the rhyme scheme. So rhyme scheme has a pattern of end rhymes in a poem. So meaning at the end of each line, there is a rhyme. So they sound the same. Example here. So we have germ, pachyderm. They sound the same. So since they sound the same, the rhyme scheme would be A. In the next lines, we have place and race. Since they are the same in sound but not the same sound in germ and pachyderm, their rhyme scheme would be B. In the next lines, we have places and diseases. So since they are sound the same but not same as place and race, the rhyme scheme would be letter C. So all in all, the rhyme scheme of this poem would be AABBCC. So that's how you create a rhyme scheme in a poem. Next, so imagery appeals to the reader's senses and imagination. So what are the senses that we have? So we have the sense of sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. So example of imagery is this one. After taking a huge bite of the thin crusted pizza, I savored the taste of the sizzling pepperonis as the hot cheese melted in my mouth. So as you can see here, using the imagery, we're able to stimulate our senses. So sense of sight because of describing the pizza as huge, and it is a thin crusted pizza as described in the example. The sense of taste was also used in this example, wherein the speaker savored the taste of the sizzling pepperonis and the hot cheese melted into his mouth. If we remove the imagery, it will become like this. The pizza is delicious. Which do you think stimulates our senses? It is the first one or the last one? Of course, it is the first example. Next, we have the meter. So meter is the rhythm pattern or the so-called measure. So we have different meters here. We have iamb or iambic. It is unstressed, followed by stress. Example, accept. The block is unstressed or unaccented syllable. And the red is the stressed or accented syllable. So another type of meter is the trochee or trochaic. So we have stressed and unstressed. So for example, widow. Next is anapest or anapistic. It has 2 unstressed and followed by stress. Like for example, disappoint. Next is dactyl or dactylic. So stress followed by 2 unstressed. For example, happily. Next we have the spondy. We have 2 stress here. For example, heartbreak. Next, we have the pyrrhic. So it has 2 unstressed, for example, in the. So next is the rhythm. Rhythm is the recurrence of accents or stress in the lines of words. It can be described as the beat and pace of a poem created by the stress and stressed syllables. Next is the form. Form is the arrangement or manner used to convey the content. It pertains to the outside look of a poem. Example, haiku. A haiku has 3 lines with 17 syllables. Another example is couplet. It is a poem with 2 lines. So those are forms. Next is the structure. Structure is the design or the form of a literary work. Here, we are dealing with how the poem or any other literary piece is constructed or made. has a lot of rhyming words? Does it constructed with lots of punctuation marks? So something like that. So another one is, does the writer use uncommon words, and so on. Next, we have the tone. It is the implied attitude of a writer toward the subject or character. Is the tone happy, sarcastic, sad, and so on? Example, when somebody says, "Oh, you have a nice dress, where did you buy it?" It's like our doormat. So from this, we can say that the tone of the speaker is being sarcastic. So that's the end of my discussion for today. I hope you learned something. Thank you.